Welcome to the daily podcast. My name is Michelle Sinclair and I am a divine healer, meaning I help people to heal themselves using divine love. We work at a soul level in all of our sessions that we're doing. But anyways, today we are talking about low vibrational frequencies and how you would know. So first question to you. If you were to be completely honest with yourself, are you happy with your present circumstances in life, or would you prefer to cease to live? Now, if the answer is that you would prefer to cease to live, then you are living in a low frequency, a low vibrational state, and therefore the things that are being presented to you in your life match that low frequency that you hold within yourself, and this is why you feel this way. So here's the best part about this, is that through your free will, which we all have, and a lot of interpersonal growth, you can cleanse away the old beliefs that are being stored within your subconscious mind, and you can begin to change this, and you can create an upliftment of spirit within yourself and with your environment. This will completely change your life. Now, how you would do this is through eliminating old things that you've been believing. You could use the Mental Cleanse series. There's a playlist on here that can help you to do that. It's got a wide variety selection on there of different videos that can actually help you to release things subconsciously. Actual practical exercises to help you do that, but I'm going to just tell you how to do it. So you need to, first of all, I would bet if you feel like you need to cease to live, that you've been harmed in some way, right? You feel like you are a victim to something, maybe even your own life, but you've been harmed in some way. And this past harm has not been healed, and so it's hurting you, it's causing you pain, whether this is emotional or physical, and you can't stand it anymore, but you keep doing the same thing day after day. You're just living your life, and therefore, tomorrow is exactly the same as today, because you're doing the same things over and over. So how you can change this, the only way to change anything is through changing your consciousness, meaning changing your mind. And because you are experiencing suffering right now, the way that you're going to change your mind is by getting rid of all of those harmful thoughts that are hurting you. So the harmful thoughts, and you might have them on a continuous loop. They might be about yourself, they might be about someone else, they might be about a certain scenario or a certain situation, but it is a negative loop that you have going on, and you are probably so used to it that you haven't even really noticed that you have this negative loop going on. Or maybe you have noticed and you're like, yeah, dang it, I can't do anything about it, it just keeps coming up, because your mind has been programmed this way and you haven't been able to figure out how to stop it from doing that yet. So this is what I help people do. So let's say that you had a negative thought loop. I'm going to give you a hack for it. If you had, let's say, that these things about yourself that you continually say, like, I don't want to speak certain things because I don't want to create them, by saying something negative. So let's just say you think a really negative thing about yourself, and you probably have several, or about other people, and that they go throughout your days. Like maybe you do it 15 times a day, maybe you do it 15 times an hour, maybe you do it 15 times a minute. I'm not sure, but there will be negative thinking that is attached to the reason why you're not happy with your life. And in fact, it is actually the only reason why you are not happy with your life. Now you might say, well, no, it's because these things happen to me, but I'm going to tell you that it is your beliefs that bring those things to us. Whatever we focus on, we're feeding, we're giving it our energy. And the way that the universe works is that when we are giving that thing our energy, we're giving it a very specific vibrational frequency, very specific. And that frequency, it goes out and it grabs onto things that feel exactly that same way, that are holding that exact same resonance within them. And it brings them to you because it doesn't know you don't want that. It's not hearing, I don't want this. It just knows what you are, the vibration you're putting out. So let's say you're thinking a thought and it's causing you to be upset. Like you're thinking about something that happened in the past, somebody who hurt you and is causing you to be upset. Well, the universe doesn't know, I don't want that to happen again. Even if you're saying, I don't want that to happen again, all it knows is that feeling that you get when you think about it, which is the upset feeling. And so because it's a very specific frequency, it's going out every time that you think about it. It's being emitted from your body, and it's going out and is imbuing all the space that's all around you, and it is causing creation. And then it's pulling it back to you, thinking this is what you want. You know, when people say, hey, I can manifest, this is what they're doing, but they're doing it at a high frequency. So they're getting that thing that they want, because when they get that thing, it feels so good to get that thing. Well, they feel so good, so they get that thing. So if you feel so bad, you're going to get those things that feel so bad. This is how it works. And I know it's like, okay, well then how do you get to feeling good when you actually don't feel good? By healing it. By protecting your energy. First of all, very first thing you're going to do, because I bet that you're an empath, is I made a video a few days ago about removing energetic attachments. So number one, it's only 11 minutes long, and it's an actual practical exercise. You'll listen for a few minutes, but then it's going to have you do an exercise on there that's going to remove energetic attachments. So that's the first thing, because very often we're carrying other people's energy with us, and we believe it to be our own. And so we're trying to deal with it like it's our own, but we can't, because you can't reason with an energy that's not your own, that's in your own field. Like it's like you're telling yourself, don't feel this way, and yourself is like, but I feel this way. You know, you can't talk yourself out of it when it's not your own energy. So that's the very first thing. Go, listen to that, clear away the energetic attachments that you've got, because then now we're working on an even playing field, and we're just only dealing with your energy. So then once you've done that, first of all, you're going to take little baby steps. So what is the thing that is hurting you the most? What's the one thought loop that you have that causes you pain? Maybe it's resentment. Maybe it's towards a partner. Maybe it's towards a parent from the past. Maybe it's I don't know what it is. But if it's something like resentment, or if it's a feeling of frustration, or you know, something along those lines, anger, maybe you're really angry. That is what needs to be healed. Now, I know you might know that, and you might think, well, how do I heal that? Well, this is how. First of all, it's by gaining a different and a new perspective. So if you are suffering in some way because of something that someone did to you, perhaps you could think of another time in the past where somebody did something to you and it hurt you, but you got through it. And not only did you get through it, but you became a stronger, more powerful person, because you had to go through that hard or difficult thing. You made it through it. It was very challenging. It took a lot. But on the other side of it, once you healed from it, once you got through it, you're stronger. You're more powerful. You have more wisdom. You've learned lessons. You now see that thing that you had to go through, and you're like, well, I'm not going to do that again. And so now you've learned something, and you can avoid those things from happening there again in the future. Just by being aware of them. So if you would prefer to cease to live, then you have a negative outlook. And this negative outlook is attracting negative things into your life. So it needs to be healed, the negativity. So let's say that you've got resentment, let's say that you've got some kind of something, which is causing negativity. It's causing like, ugh. It's not love, right? It's the opposite of love. Like, I love my life. You're not feeling that way. That's what we want, you to love your life, because you deserve and you're worthy of having a life that you really, truly, actually do love. And not only that, but you're more than good enough for that life. And that life aligns with your purpose. And this is why you're feeling empty and like nothing's, right and good and all the things. It's because you're not aligned with your purpose. And as soon as you get in alignment with that purpose, everything's going to shift for you. And that happiness, it will be there, but you need to bring back the happiness first so that you can get in alignment with your purpose. So what you need to do is to heal, cleanse away all of those things, all of the thoughts that are harming you. And so how you will do this is to change your perspective about it. So, if you were my client and we were working together, I would put you into state, meaning I'd take you down into theta state. So this is a deep meditative state. And then we would bring up the feelings or the thought loops that you have, and we would follow them back, and we would find out where they're coming from. Why are these here? Why are you believing this about yourself? Then in that session, when we find out why, probably came from childhood or being a teenager or young 20s, I don't know, something like that. Typically, that's, 99% of the time, it's coming from way back then. And so when we would go back in this subconscious state, which you can do in many of the Mental Cleanse series videos, it's regression that's in there, meaning it's taking you back. It's doing exactly what I'm talking about right now. So if you have an emotion that you need to deal with, like anger or sadness or resentment or whatever, go onto the Mental Cleanse series playlist that I have here on here and go and find the video, and it will do what it'll walk you through, and it'll do it for you. I mean, you have to do the work, but it's going to guide you step by step to do exactly what I'm telling you here now. So you're gonna follow that feeling, and you're gonna find out why that feeling or that thought is there. And then when you find out why it's there, we're gonna change the perspective. Because let me give you an example. So let's say, I'll give you an example. You're 5 years old, you drew a picture, and you're like, look at my picture. And you go in and you show your mom because she's sitting at the table, but there's other people sitting at the table. And so she looks at your picture and she's like, oh, that's cute. And maybe we've got an auntie there, and she picks it up and she's like, what is this? That's supposed to be this? Because, you got a really immature auntie or something like that. And she kind of bugs you and makes fun of you or something like this. Something as simple as this. Somebody could take it into their subconscious mind, and it could cause them harm for the next 85 years. Because they will have felt embarrassed by that person's comment, and because they were so little, they didn't speak up for themselves, they didn't know how, they didn't, deal with the emotion. All that they knew was, I'm embarrassed, I want to go and retreat and hide. And then they took that feeling and they internalized it, and now they think, well, I must have deserved that. I must not be good enough to be respected. And there will be a whole slew of things, of beliefs that are then believed at that time that you aren't even aware that you're believing. You don't even know it, but yet it's dictating every single facet of your life, and you're wondering, like, this is just proven to me, like, I'm not good enough, and I'm not worthy, and I'm not deserving, and all these things, and it's proven to me over and over and over, and you'll be like, why? Because you don't even know that underneath in your soul level is hiding all of these beliefs that are magnetizing, pulling these things into you. And they're here, and they're harming you, and they've been there for such a freaking long time that you actually believe it's you. You might just say, oh, it's genetic. I've been sad my whole life, or I've felt this way my whole life. Well, you know what? Almost nobody has. There will be a few people that I will regress back, and they will go back, and it will be in the womb. So yes, it has been their whole life here, because it began while they were in the womb. They felt unloved, unwanted, stressed from their mother, whatever it happened to be. And so then they came into this world believing that they were not wanted, or that they were not loved. And so they really have had it their whole life, and they believe that that's who they are. But it's not who you are. It is beliefs that are there, that are being held in your consciousness. So when we cleanse away, when we do this mental cleanse, and we cleanse away all these heavy, hard, dense, hurtful energies that are there, these beliefs that are in our subconscious mind, when we get rid of them, when we eradicate them, then we can replace them with beliefs that are actually beneficial. This is an example. Let's say that you were little and you grew up middle class, so you had what you needed. You had everything that you needed. You were always provided for. Maybe you had a father, and he would, give you little bits of money here and there. Maybe he bought you a car. Maybe, whatever. If that was your life, I guarantee you that going forward in your life, you expect that from other people, from your life, from your environment, and because you expect it and you believe that it's possible, because you've already experienced it and you believe it to be true, that it will then be true for you, and it will play out like that in your life, and you will never be lacking or wanting in that department. But if you grew up poor and you have this belief in poor, and your parents, they couldn't give you any money, we can't afford that, we can't, and you heard all kinds of talk. If you grew up in a house where they didn't have money, then they would have been talking about it, right? And they would have been implanting in you, not consciously, they absolutely did not do it on purpose, but they would have been implanting in you these impressions and saying these things that you as a little youngster would have believed and taken in as truth, and then it would affect your income as an adult, only because of the beliefs. Only because of the beliefs. I know this is a fact. Anytime that I work with somebody for money beliefs, they eradicate it. They're messaging me, they're texting me, hey, I got some checks, I got this money rolling in, I got a bunch of free stuff. Every time that we do money blocks. And it's because these beliefs, when we believe that we're not worthy, or let's say that we believe that, money's the root of all evil, or we believe whatever we happen to freaking believe, I don't know, is going to pull that thing into us. because we're giving it our focus, because we're giving it our thoughts, we're giving it our words. Our words hold the same vibration as our thoughts. But even more forceful, we're putting the sound in with it. We're making it more forceful when we use our words and speak things into creation. And so these patterns will repeat. If you grew up and you were a really rich kid, you're gonna be an adult that's also a rich kid, rich adult, because of the beliefs that are in place, depending on how you were raised. Unless maybe your parents said something like, "Oh, this ain't gonna be the life for you. You're gonna have to work real hard, and you're gonna have to earn this or that." Well, then you're gonna believe, "I gotta work real hard. This isn't the life for me. I gotta whatever." And then those are gonna be your beliefs, and then those are gonna be what plays out in your life. But whatever it is that belief that you have, that belief is what holds a frequency. And that frequency is what attracts and pulls and magnetizes everything to you. So when you hold a belief or something that is harmful, like that, I'm a victim of this, this person did this to me, I'm just sick of life, I don't even want to be here anymore. You are not a victim of it. This is your gift. It's the gift. I know, it's the crappiest freaking gift you could possibly imagine. There's that saying, and I don't know if it was Mother Teresa, but it's beautiful, that's saying, someone once gifted me a box of darkness, and it took me years to realize that too was a gift. Been there, man. Been there. When I think of all the darkest times and the hardest times and everything that I went through, and being married to a narcissist that would try to break me down and talk bad about me and do whatever it is that he could do to tear me down and wear me out, and now, oh, what a wonderful blessing it has been that I went through that. Because I will never go through that ever again. It's never going to happen ever again. It unlocked my power. Because of what he did and all the betrayals that he put on me and the way that he treated me and gaslighted me and made me feel like I was crazy, it pushed me to such a brink that it was heal it or die. That was it. Those were the only two options that I had in my mind, heal it or die. And because I had a bunch of kids and I'm like, well, I can't just kill myself. I'm not going to do that. I'm not that type of person. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to give up. Nobody's going to make me quit, not even life. So then, well, I guess I obviously have to heal it then. It was the only option. And so I went. And because of my study of the Christ letters, and because of my knowledge of the frequency, I knew that I had to forgive him for what he did to me. But you know how difficult it is to forgive someone who has been actively lying and betraying you behind your back and making you feel like such an idiot for believing their stuff, and you're still living in the same house with them, and whatnot. Oh, this is difficult. It's freaking difficult, man. It's tricky. But I knew I had to heal this because it's my creation. I want to create good and wonderful things for myself, and as long as I'm still pissed at him and resentful and thinking, wow, I just wasted 20 freaking years of my life with this man, and the bitterness that would have come from that, I knew I had to heal it because I didn't want to put that vibration out and create more of that for myself in the future. So I did. It was the most difficult thing that I had ever been through in my life. Because to me, I loved that man. And it truly, truly, truly broke my heart. Now, I am forever thankful for that gift of darkness. I am so thankful that he did that, because sometimes we don't realize things until we leave a situation. We don't actually truly see the honesty and what it was really like until we're out of it. And we then put ourselves in a new environment and we go, oh, this is weird. Somebody's not screaming and yelling every day. Oh, this is different. Wow, I don't feel like I'm walking on eggshells. I actually feel like I can breathe deeper. I feel like I'm free. Meanwhile, the previous 20 years I had been with this person and I didn't realize that was my environment. I was love blind to it. Didn't see it. I mean, I noticed it and I would keep the peace as much as I could, but I was choosing to be blind to it, because had I been awake to it, I wouldn't have been with them. I couldn't have been with them. I couldn't have dealt with it. I couldn't have done any of the things. So we're selectively blind to help us out. You've been blind at some point too. I guarantee it, that there was something going on and you didn't see it, and it was there, but you didn't see it, and then you saw it way after the fact and you were like, holy, how did I not see that? But everybody from the outside maybe seen it. Maybe they told you, maybe they didn't. But maybe after the fact and after you left, just like with me, that every single person coming up to me is like, hey man, and then they're telling me all these things that it's like, guys, dudes, why didn't you tell me this freaking 15 years ago? Like, that would have been helpful back then. But of course, things happen exactly as they're supposed to. But what my whole point in this is, sometimes we are gifted something that to us does not seem like a gift. Right? If I say, here, I'm going to give you this gift, and then you open it up and it's a box full of crap, you're like, what? Why did you just give me a box full of crap? Well, if there was a benefit to getting it, and you knew that me giving you this box of crap was going to create all kinds of things for you and was going to help you to heal, even though, you got to deal with that stinky box of crap for however long, if you knew that 8 months down the line, there was going to be something amazing that was going to come from me giving you that gift, would you accept it? I would take the box of crap. Give it to me. Give me the box. If I know that there's something good that is going to come from this, then you can give it to me. And that is exactly what happened in my situation. So that's what's going to happen in your situation too, but you just haven't got the lesson and the learning that's from it yet. Because you're still in the unawareness of the root of the problem, which when we don't have that, this is like, when you're a little kid and you're always asking, well, why? But why? But why? It's like we need to know, why do I feel this way? I need to know it. Well, you can figure that out. You take yourself into the meditative state, you follow that feeling that you do not like, that you can physically feel there inside your body, that feeling that you don't like or that's making you feel real bad about yourself, and you follow that feeling all the way back to the very beginning, all the way back to the very first time that feeling came up. And when you are in theta state, when you're in that soul level state, which you can get to just by going into deep meditation, you can bring up that feeling in that state. You can then take a nice deep breath. You can count yourself back from 5 to 1, and you can say, show me where this came from. Follow this feeling all the way back. Nice deep breath. And all of a sudden you're seeing this vision of yourself being a little kid and this certain particular situation happening. And then the understanding comes from that situation. And you say, oh, well, this is what's going on. But the thing about it is, when you put yourself back in that soul state, you're back in that same feeling that you were in then too. So you might even not be able to perceive it honestly, because you're going to be back in that little body of yours, back when the harm was done. So this is what I would do when that happens and you realize, oh, this is where it's coming from. When you find the root, then bring your adult self into it, your teenage self, however old you are now. You're going to bring yourself now into that scene with that younger you that's hurt. And you're just going to go and give them all the love that you have. You're going to go and give them the hug. You're going to give them the comfort, the feeling of safety that maybe they never had that they really need right now. And you're going to let them receive that from you. And you're just going to hold them, and you're going to give them all the love that you have. And you're just going to hold them and hold them and hold them and give them all the time that they need. Because we need time. There was a study that was done, and it showed that people just need 8 minutes of somebody else's time to feel like they're not alone in the world. So if ever you've had somebody on your mind and you're like, I should call this person, I don't really have the time. All you need is 8 minutes for that person to feel connected. And sometimes we need to do this for ourselves. And so if you were to take yourself back into that state and you could imagine that little you and just go give them a hug, you know what? They won't even need 8 minutes of your time. They're just going to need a bit of it. And when you go and you take yourself back there and you can give that little you that love, which it might seem insignificant now, but I'm telling you, when you're in theta, when you're in that soul state, it will be powerful. It will be powerful, and you will understand why I'm telling you that this is what needed to happen. But you need to go back and to find the reason why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. Because once we have the why, then our understanding changes and we get a new perspective, and then all of a sudden, because that has changed in our subconscious mind, now consciously we don't feel that same way anymore. And when we heal that thing, because as long as it remains unhealed, that energy that you have that's unhealed is going out and it's grabbing onto things and it's bringing more things to you that feel exactly that same way that you don't like. And it's doing it in this second. However you're feeling right now, it's doing that in the right now. And right now, every single second. And so when you can shift your frequency and you can lift it up and you can bring that happiness and that joy in there, which comes when the healing has happened. So that hurt and that pain that you're experiencing, which is why you're suffering right now, once this is healed, which you're going to do, you just exactly like I told you, take yourself into that state, take that feeling that you don't like, follow it back, find the root of it. Then once you've healed that, then you're going to feel another feeling, and you're going to follow that back. You're going to heal the root of that. Then when you heal that, you're going to feel another feeling. You're going to follow that. You're going to heal that. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. And as we heal these things, all that energy, as soon as you heal it, that energy is free. It's up for grabs. And so to protect your energy, you're going to give it to yourself. And how you're going to give it to yourself is you're going to connect it to that beautiful divine love. And so how you can do that is once you've healed that little, whatever it happens to be, that little thing, you're then going to imagine this brilliant, beautiful, divine white light, and it's going to flow down in through the top of your head. That's the access point, and you're going to let it melt down through your whole entire body, all the way down, from head down to toes, and the way down into your hands, down into your fingers. You're just going to imagine that brilliant light sitting there in your body, and you are connecting that to the divine love. And then you envision yourself filled with that love and filled with that happiness. And something happens in the subconscious mind when we do this, and it changes the way that we consciously feel. And it begins to rewire the brain. And so pretty soon, those negative thought loops that you were having 30, 37 times an hour, well, pretty soon you're only having them 6 times an hour. And you're like, okay, this feels much better, but you know what? I think I'm sick of these thought loops, and I think it's time to really actually heal this. And then you're going to go back and do exactly what I just told you to do there again. And then pretty soon you're going to be like, oh, weird. This is pretty amazing. I have so much more energy. I don't have any of these negative thought loops. I got all this freed up space in my brain that I can use for creative activities. Maybe I'm going to start a new hobby. I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's going to free up all kinds of energy for you and make you feel completely different. Now, I know that we've been harmed, and I know that we've been hurt, and I know that sometimes that victim mentality feels like I just need to hold on to this for a little bit longer, but it's harming you. It's not helping you. It is only bringing harmful energies to you, because when you're in victim mode, the universe goes, oh, victim, okay, that's what they want, and it will make you a victim again and again and again and again. So if that is what you do not want, then you must heal it. And this is what I knew about myself when I found out what my husband had been doing, that I knew that I needed to heal it, because the anger about the betrayal and the resentment that I had towards him was just so overwhelming. I did not want that coming back on myself, and so I knew I needed to go and deal with it and heal it. And yeah, it's a pretty difficult thing when the person that you love the most in the world completely lies and betrays you. I mean, you're just lost, you're confused, especially when you've given them so much of your time. But now, I see what a beautiful blessing, what a beautiful, powerful, beautiful, wonderful gift, that the hardest, most difficult thing that I've ever gone through in my whole entire life was the biggest blessing, because I am so powerful now. Because not only did I leave that and think, you know what, I'm valuable, you know what, this isn't happening anymore, but he spiritually suppressed me for 20 years. He wanted me to be less weird, told me how weird I was. Oh, that's weird, I don't believe what you believe, you're this, that, blah, 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 blah. But meanwhile, deep inside me, this was my soul crying, please, somebody understand me. And he didn't understand me. And not only did he not understand me, but he completely opposed me. And so how could you possibly flourish? How could you possibly get into your purpose when you are with someone who is suppressing your very nature? It can't happen. But that had to happen for me to break out of my shell, for me to realize, like, hey, nobody's doing this to me. Never again, not happening. If you don't love me, you're not coming with me. And as I started to move forward in my life, I realized what a beautiful blessing that was. Had he not done that, I would still be there. I would still be there. I would be there. And I'm so glad I'm not. I couldn't be any happier that I'm not. So whatever it is that you've gone through, those hard, difficult things, all the difficult things, if you want to go back and listen to some videos about forgiveness that I have, because that can help you to, if there's somebody you need to forgive, that can really help you to gain a different perspective about it, because there's been many men in my life that have really harmed me and really hurt me, and I've forgiven every single one of them, and I'm free because of it. They're not in control of me at all, not even in the slightest, because I've truly, deeply forgiven them, and not only forgiven them, but I love them for what they did to me. I love my ex-husband for all the harm that he gave to me, because he made me be so powerful and who I am. It was the best, wonderful blessing that he could have given to me, that box of darkness that at the time made me want to friggin' off myself. And thank goodness I didn't. So whatever you're going through, you're going to get through it. Absolutely. Cleanse away all those low, heavy, dense energies of unforgiveness, of resentment, of hurt, of pain, of all the victim mentality, all that stuff. Once you cleanse that out of your mind, you are then free. And you are free to attach that energy to anything that you want, because you have free will. And when you attach it to love, that is literally in every single molecule of this universe, if you would only but recognize it, and if you would only but believe in it, then you would see it, and your whole world will change. All of a sudden, those low, heavy, dense energies that are holding you down here, that are not allowing you to see the love, they become lighter, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, Maybe there is love in that. See all those beautiful flowers over there? Why is there so many pretty colors? Why is there so many unique different petals? Why do they each have their own unique scent? What's up with that? Maybe there is love in the world, because what purpose is that serving? Oh, purpose? Well, these flower petals could be made into medicine. They could be made into tea. Every thoughtful attention to detail has been given to this planet, and it's been done for your benefit. There's heaven everywhere if you would only but look and find it. All you need to do is look. And when you start looking for the goodness, you're going to find it. But when you start looking for the badness, you're going to find it too. So stop looking for it. And stop repeating those things that you've been repeating to yourself, because they're harmful, they're hurtful, and they're not the truth. That's why they hurt. You'll know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And those thought loops that you're having, they don't make you feel free. I know they don't. You know they don't. And it's because they're not true. Because the truth will set you free, and it actually feels like freedom every single time. So set yourself free today. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe. You could even share this with a friend that you think it might be helpful for. Of course, I'm here, daily podcasts, Monday to Friday. I try to throw you guys out some extra stuff on the weekends when I got some time. But thank you guys for tuning in. Love y'all, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in, my darlings.